And so, folks, no sooner do we put our predictions out about the vehicles being added in this particular update for February in GT7, we now have, of course, the usual trailer confirmation of all of those things, plus some stuff which at least I wasn't expecting, in a general sense maybe, but not necessarily this time around. I mentioned, of course, that we'd seen a new variation for the Nürburgring GP course in particular. That is not showcased in this trailer, probably still a future thing, but we do see Grand Valley, which of course I did feature in the leaked data mining video regarding circuits. That is now 2 circuits from that video, if I recall correctly, which are in the game, Road Atlanta and now Grand Valley. And it looks to be a new variation of Grand Valley as well, which looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. It actually reminds me of that road, I don't recall where it was, maybe a California highway, I think, back when Project Cars was first being showcased. And it was a cockpit cam of an old Grand Prix car racing around a California highway. I believe that was one of the earliest promotional things for Project Cars way back, and if my memory serves correctly at least. And we have an additional vehicle in effect as well. It appears, of course, that this is not, as we were perhaps conjecturing, a Genesis Vision GT. It is actually an Italdesign Vision GT. This very much reminds me of the parkour concept, which is something which itself reminds me of the Axum Megatrack, a car, of course, which I featured in Unsung Heroes. A really cool idea of having a supercar which can then go off-road as well. This very much has that vibe, of course, with on- and off-road modes. Technically 2 different vehicles, it looks like, in the game, rather than just something that you switch between, like the active aero of a Tomahawk. It does look like 2 separate setups. I would have personally preferred it if it kind of worked like a transformer in the same car, you know, like the Tomahawk, so maybe press the NOS button and it raises the suspension, or maybe just automatically raises when you're on a dirt track. But still, having 2 different vehicles is fine, it has the same effect anyway. And of course we have confirmation of the other cars which we'd already speculated on, the Citroen, the Porsche, and of course the Honda Grand Prix car, which for many of us is probably going to be, if not the first thing we check out, certainly one of the first to have that totally new Grand Prix experience in the game. Of course, this is dropping this week, as you'll have seen. We also, of course, have news that Sophy is coming this time around as well. It is an ongoing thing, as Kaz mentioned in one of the additional trailers, and of course Sophy would have to be a thing that you would continually develop over time. And, you know, just look at Gran Turismo's online rules and penalties. That's again something which they constantly have to refine. Likewise with this, doubtless they will have to as well, just like you would with any kind of AI over time, to make it both more competitive but also to fight fairer. You know, back in the day on racing games, AI would just be either completely useless or just cheat all the time. So having a balance between the two, of being something that's fun but also challenging, and maybe even with settings that you can choose between, I would imagine, rather than just automatically matching your skill level at any time. So yeah, it's looking to be a good update. And of course, we can't forget, obviously, the VR support as well, for those who are going to be using that. So of course, I will be doing coverage of all of this stuff, aside from the VR, which I have no plans to do on the channel, but maybe in some future time. Not at the moment though. I will of course be featuring initially my overall thoughts on the day that this drops, then I'll be doing individual reviews in the following days of the new vehicles, from the Grand Prix to the Citroen to the, you know, Vision GT cars, etc. Of course, I'll be showcasing Grand Valley as well, and maybe even checking out some Sophy in there in those individual car reviews, and certainly in the overall update review as well. So of course, stick around for that on the channel, and as always, thanks for watching.